Hey, this is James Pelton coming to you live here on a Sunday afternoon. How's everybody doing here today? We've got Farmer Knowles here already with the money tongue. So that's good to see. Sounds like you're doing well. Well, this was kind of a little bit spur of the moment. I wanted to talk about Alpha Shares and their new NFT Marketplace and kind of how we can get involved in that. I was going to do a dedicated video, but lives are easier. So I decided to do it this way. Also, just wanted to kind of hang out with you guys, get your thoughts on some things, see if you guys had questions for me as well. So what I need you to do as we get started here is please hit the like button. Again, that tells YouTube to show this to a lot of people. And then comment question of the day. These are always so much fun to come up with. What is my question for the day? Let's got to think of something good, something I haven't. How about what's your favorite book? Okay, I like two birds with one stone. First off, it gets comments going. Second off, I get to learn a little something about my audience. Do people still read? Is that still a thing that people do? But go ahead and comment what your favorite book is besides the Bible. Of course, that's cheating to pick a holy book. Can't do that. So we are going to talk about Alpha Shares here today and their new marketplace. So let me go ahead and share my screen just so you can kind of see what it looks like. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Actually, they told me quite a while ago, hey, we're building this new NFT marketplace, and then just kind of been waiting for this to get built. And it looks really nice. I got to see the beta, and it works better than the beta did. Okay, so very, very cool to see this. So just a little bit of intro, and someone from the Alpha Shares team, I don't know if it's Tyler or John or who, but somebody will probably be coming and joining us at some point. They had some other meetings, but I just kind of wanted to talk through my thoughts on some of this as we're going. If you have things that you want to share, comments, or questions, I can't answer everything because I'm not the team, but I do have a lot of information on what they're doing and stuff. So we got Charles here. Let's go Alpha. Just my style. Let's go Alpha Shares. So I want to start by talking about what is Alpha Shares and kind of how they got going to start with. But first off, so they launched as Alpha Nodes. I don't know if you guys remember that, Alpha Nodes. And so when they first were starting, oh, look, it just comes to Alpha Shares now. But when they were first coming, I actually wasn't interested in getting involved because it was kind of near the end of node season. And I was like, you know what? I'm in so many node projects. I really don't need to be in another one. And the team was like, no, 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 no. We're not really planning on being a node project. Just hop on a call and let's see, just hear what we have going on. I was like, okay, fine, let's do that. So they were actually a reflection token. So they weren't just giving rewards for, doing nothing, but it was actually based on buys and sells. So I immediately liked that better because I knew, okay, the token's not going to just go all the way to zero from sell pressure. So I like that right off the bat. They did have problems, as we went into the bear market, we kind of saw just everything. People were kind of selling off whatever they had. So we kind of saw that. But the team kind of came out of the DeFi space and they were they were a part of a lot of the other node projects that were going on. But one of the first things that they told me was, hey, when the bull market's over, we're going to need a revenue stream if we want to keep growing. And so I noticed that and I was like, wow, this team is on the ball. Okay. They know what's going on. Cause I recognize that too, that man, these node projects are going to have a hard time once the bull market's over. So they're like, hey, we want to build an NFT marketplace. Okay. I mean, that's what they've been building here is an NFT marketplace. And there's a lot of potential. The NFT space is growing, and I imagine it will continue to grow. I think OpenSea does $100 million a day in volume, and they take like 2% of the fees. So what's 2% of $100 million? $2 million a day in revenue that OpenSea gets. And I don't know, again, to me, it's better than OpenSea's. Right now, I think it's only on AVAX, but they're planning to open up to the other chains as well. And, one of the hopes and goals is that they would be able to compete with like OpenSea's or NFT Trade, and some of those bigger ones. And it could be a very big revenue source for Alpha Shares holders. So I want to pause there for just a second and make sure if you guys have comments, again, some of you that are in the community, you might even know more than I do. So feel free to come on and say I'll just bring up your comments. Josh says this is the first live that I've been on. So Josh, welcome. I like to do these. Honestly, the reason I like lives is because it's less work. I don't have to edit a video. Is honestly the number one reason. So I can do a live, like right away. Also, too, I like to get feedback from you guys because a lot of times when I'm walking through a project, I don't always think through. You guys have different questions and thoughts and comments than I do. And so it's kind of like a group effort when we do this. And it's kind of fun not having someone from the team on right away because we can kind of just say, whatever we think and don't have to spare anyone's feelings or anything like that. So kind of nice. So yeah, if you have any comments, questions, feel free and I'll bring them up. I may not have an answer, but I'll bring them up. We got Ted here from Michigan. Welcome. Yeah, if you want to let me know your favorite book. And yeah, I love to hear where people are from too. Again, just find it pretty fascinating. So anyway, so Alpha Shares is they built an NFT marketplace. It's no longer building. So again, that's one thing that I've been keeping in mind is there's a lot of projects that say they have a revenue stream in the works, but you're not really sure when that's going to come. So you're kind of just watching the token go down and you're like, okay, I know they're building, well, like we'll say Strong Chain, for example. I know they're building a revenue stream, but when is it actually coming? So that's one thing that I'm really excited about Alpha Shares with is it's actually here. Okay. It's actually out. There's revenue actually coming in already. Okay. We're not up to 100 million a day in volume. And AVAX does not really have AVAX does not have high NFT volume. Okay. I got to be careful what I say about AVAX because I got myself in trouble this week by saying negative things about AVAX and, the community, the AVAX community is kind of like the drip community. You say something negative, you get jumped on. So that is, which in some ways you admire. Bernie wants to know, how did you find out about Alpha Shares? So actually, Coffee on the Block. I don't know if you know him on Twitter. Let me get his Twitter account just to give him credit. So he told me about it first. Me and Coffee on the Block and Crypto Sensei and a few guys, we kind of have like a chat where we're like, hey, what's new stuff that you're kind of excited about? And he kept talking about Alpha Shares. At the time, it was Alpha Nodes, and I was like, nah, I'm in too many nodes. I don't really want this. But he kept talking about it. He said, just talk with the team, talk with the team. And so that's where I first heard about it. PCKP says, love your videos. Stay as you are. Your honesty is your best feature. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Let's see. Fits in line with exactly what I'm looking at right now. Build and create revenue before launch. Yes. Yes. We're seeing there's a lot of projects that have revenue streams in the works, and just sometimes we can't wait for that. It's better to have something already built. And this is a great question. Is it better to own the token or buy an NFT? Kind of like asking the miner or token question. And that's a great question. And I want to wait for someone from the team to comment on that. Because let's see how I understand it. Yeah, this is right. This is what Sub told me. He said 70% of all fees generated on the platform go back to holders. 50% goes to NFT holders. 20% goes to people staking Alpha token. Okay, so I am not totally sure. I can maybe put together a spreadsheet to maybe figure out. It sounds like probably more revenue will go to the NFT holders, if I'm reading that right. But let's wait for Sub to say that for sure. I enjoy you following your Twitter account. Are you an Alpha holder? I am. So I currently, I think that this is like way back from the beginning. Can I see? Let's switch to Avalanche here. I think I have. At one point they said you need 2 trillion Alpha tokens to partake in something. Okay. Well, this is one problem with me being in so many projects is I don't pay super close attention and don't know what's going on a lot of times with projects. But somebody told me make sure you have at least 2 trillion Alpha. So that's what I did. I made sure I had at least 2 trillion. And again, I had the same question. Is it better to have an NFT or a token? So I staked half of my alpha to a trillion, and then I still have a trillion. And I suppose I should mint a couple of these, but I want to just wait and talk to Sub. I'm just going to ask him to kind of break it down for us when he comes on. Should I go mint 10 of these alpha here? I guess I can only do 8 per transaction, or should I stake my other trillion? So that's a question for me too. Does anybody in the audience know? Does anybody have any thoughts? How much does an NFT cost? So the alpha is 100 billion alpha. And one thing I don't like about alpha is when you're talking about numbers this big, 100 billion, it's very hard to do the math and keep straight what's going on. So, but if somebody can comment whether they, should I, what should I do? Should I mint 10 of these or should I stake my last trillion AVAX? I want to take part in this. Okay. Um, as they grow, I like the team. They have an LLC. They're a hardworking team. I want to take part of it, but yeah, I'm not sure which one I should do. So I'm going to wait. Better safe than sorry. Let's see. Charles says staking has better rewards, but then he said, "I'm sorry, the NFT." I think you're right. It's what it sounds like is that the NFTs will get more, but it's not as liquid maybe because the staking I can just unstake. And so maybe that's the difference is if you mint the NFTs. Let's see. Jalapeno says I would get as many NFTs as possible. See, we got. Yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm gonna wait and see if Sub can hop on, and I will ask him. He says I can get on at some point, so I'll ask him, and then I'll do it live, whichever it is, whether minting here or whether staking my last trillion. Let's see. The mint opens tomorrow. John says, this question for me, how much of your net worth is in crypto? So right now, there's a funny commercial where it said a guy watching his crypto account and he says, I'm a millionaire. No, now I'm not. I'm a millionaire. Now I'm not. And so I have probably about, I've probably about $1 million in crypto, maybe a little bit more, maybe 1.2 million. And I probably have about a third in crypto, a third in real estate, and a third in the stock market. So that's probably about a third of where I'm at. You can't mint yet. Yes. Okay. So I can't mint yet. So I'll wait for Sub and I'll see, should I save to mint 8 or whatever? Why not take part in stable fund? So I'm actually in stable fund now. So it took me a while. I've been trying to get an AMA worked out with their team, and it has not worked out. But I am in stable fund now. I threw in maybe like 3K or 4K or something, and I like to just kind of make sure I understand exactly how it works, and then I will consider putting more in. Okay, let me see what else I had to say about Alpha. Okay, so 50% goes to NFT holders, 20% goes to people staking Alpha token. It's on AVAX, and again, that's where it's starting with AVAX NFTs, but they are branching out to all the EVM compatible chains and Solana. So again, I'm hoping the user experience is good enough where they can compete like on Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum's where all the NFT volume happens. So that's where would want to see them eventually make it. Let me take a sip of coffee real quick here. Sunday afternoon is usually nap time. I go to church Sunday morning, usually nap in the afternoon. So my energy level is a little bit low. But yeah, if you guys have questions, feel free to bring them up. But there's going to be an awkward silence while I drink my coffee for 5 seconds. Okay, done with that. Coffee's good. Who here likes coffee? Do you have a favorite um, coffee type or coffee? I don't know. I don't really even care what kind of coffee. I just love all coffee. It's like a very, very love it a lot. Let's see. And then the Chadma says, have you seen the auction prices so far? Yes. So I kind of, yeah. So are these the auction prices right now? That is very high. Yeah, and I would love to have Sub on. This is why I like having the team on is to kind of explain like is the difference between the NFTs just like how they look because I'm not really an art guy. Like I have a hard time telling the difference. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, you can filter different bodies. So this is a pretty good like this it's very categorized and functional NFT Look at that. You can see my notice pop up. Pay my mortgage. Don't forget to do that. Is the team known or private? Um, I believe that they are all fully doxed, so I know the team. They might just be KYC'd. It doesn't look like that they're doxed here, but they're very KYC'd. I know them, so I don't know if that counts. The team is a preferred partner with RugDoc. Okay, there you go. Do you know how a project's APY is generated before you invest in? Um, sometimes I don't. So sometimes the best way to learn about a project is just get into it. So for example, Novatech, I am not totally sure. They say how their APY is generated, but I'm not totally sure. So what I do is I dip my toe in and kind of see, hey, am I getting returns the way I should? Am I able to withdraw the way I should? I keep pushing, hey, can I get an AMA with the team? So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So the difference is based on reward value. Okay. And Chadman says, I'm the communications director. Okay. Very cool. So he's Chad here. Let me show you. He's Chad right here. Chad, welcome. Glad that you could join us. You can find me on all social platforms. The project is partnered with RugDoc. Yes. So there's a few partnerships. First up, they're partnered with Notify for infrastructure. So if you guys remember, I did an AMA, maybe a couple AMAs with Notify. But they're providing the infrastructure and the storage and the blockchain technology for them. And then they're officially partnered with RugDoc and Paladin for security and auditing. And they offer discounts to partner projects and things like that. There is a true revenue source here. So again, we like to see that. 157 Genesis NFTs will go up for auction on day one. So that's what we are seeing here. Let's see. Yeah, and where did the auction go? Genesis auction. Okay, so 157 Genesis NFTs. The top one here is at 120. And I assume, yeah, so this weighting is that part of wow. Man, people really went crazy on that one. Yeah, very, very cool to see. Genesis NFTs. Okay, here we go. I should just read the info that people send me. Genesis NFTs will have much higher weighted returns than a base NFT. There are 3 tiers of Genesis. The top tier Apex will receive 18 the return of a base NFT. Launch is Saturday. Okay, very cool. So yeah, so these Genesis NFTs have 18x. Wow, this one's going for 200. Holy cow! What's the cheapest one if I did want to get one? Let's see. Price low to high. 49 AVAX is the lowest. Is that right? 44.40. So what is here's a 20 AVAX one. But these are auctions, so I'll probably just get outbid, right? Oh, and this is only a 3x one. Okay. This is very cool. I to be honest, okay, you're getting a little insight into how I do my live videos. I don't look into it a ton before I get on the live because I kind of want to like learn about it with you guys. If I come in like too prepared, then it's just a presentation of like, hey, here's this, this, and this. I love to kind of learn with you guys. Funny Turo, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you. I just DM'd you on Twitter a graphic with all the NFT info. Okay, let's grab that. This will be exciting. What is the true revenue stream? Profits from trading NFTs? Yes. So there's a 2% fee. Chad, do we know the fee? Is it a set fee per NFT sale? And so like if you compare to OpenSea would be like the top in this industry, but they do between 100 and 150 million dollars a day in volume. And they take 2.5% of all of it. So they're 3 million, 4 million, 5 million a day in revenue that they're bringing. And that's even during like the bear market. Obviously the bull market is going to help NFT sales quite a bit. But yes, let me check this DM message requests. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, nice. This is perfect. Let me get this over to the screen where you guys can see it. Okay. So here are the different NFTs. So the Alpha Wolf rewards 333 million tokens a day. There's 9K of those and they cost 100 billion alpha. Then there's an auction for these 3 type here, and Lone Wolf rewards a billion tokens a day, 2.6 billion, and 6 billion. There's only 10 of those, so those are the 18x ones. So I should have done a spreadsheet of kind of like, hey, here's the returns that you can maybe expect to see what it might be worth to pay that. I don't know. Would that be something worth doing real quick? Is should we make a spreadsheet together, just live? And I don't know. Should we do that? Okay, I'll make a lot of mistakes. I don't do things very well live. Let's do sheets.new. I'll show you kind of how I do this. Any good advice for aspiring investors in the DeFi space? Love your vids, by the way. Well, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Advice for aspiring investors: find revenue streams, diversify. Those are kind of the main things. I think diversification is really helpful. Which alpha shares NFT should I get? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the price of alpha shares, and I'm just going to get off coin market cap. Let's see if it's on coin market cap. Alpha shares. Okay, so the current and this is where it gets kind of difficult. Okay, so alpha shares price is and then if so yeah, I'm gonna make it $1. And I don't like that it changed my font and stuff. Default 10. I'm kind of OCD a little bit. You're gonna see that as I do this. Okay, so that's the first thing I did is I put the price of alpha share token. And this is where it gets difficult being so many tokens, is that's the price of one alpha share token. Okay, and then let's go back to let me bring this here. Okay, so there's three types. There's alpha wolf, lone wolf. So you can do spreadsheets in a lot of different ways. It doesn't really matter how you organize it as long as it accomplishes what you want to accomplish. So I'm going to just put the three types there, and then I'm going to put rewards. So this one is 333, we'll say daily rewards, just so I don't get confused. 333 million. You have to make sure you get enough zeros. The lone wolf gives 1 billion, which is 1,000 billion. All right. This is this is where we got to these big numbers. They're tough. Okay, yep, that's 1 billion, right? This is 2.6 billion. And this is 6 billion. All right. Is that too many? 6 billion. I feel like that's too many zeros. It doesn't look right. This is why I don't do things live. Okay, yeah, that's right. Good. Okay. All right. Thanks for sticking with me. I can't believe you guys are just sitting here watch me do this. If you have questions or comments, please let me know. So then I'm going to put in dollars what that is. So if you want to, so I'm going to use B1, which is the price. And the reason I do these dollar signs before is because then that makes that cell stick as I copy and paste it. So I can do B1 with dollar signs before it times B4. Okay, and so that gives me the daily rewards. And then I can just paste that to these other and see it changes the B4 to B5. But since I put the dollar signs before the B1, then it keeps it. That makes sense. Okay, so that's a very neat spreadsheet tool that you have to learn. So I'm going to do monthly rewards here. And I'm just going to do equals B4 times 30. Okay. And I'm just pasting that in and then paste that in there. Okay. So there's our rewards. So daily rewards, about $1 a day. And again, this is at the current price of alpha. So that could definitely change. And my guess is it will probably go up as revenue's coming in and people are not wanting to sell their alpha, but they're wanting to stake it or they're wanting to get these NFTs. I'm guessing that will go up. Do we have a estimate for like how much staking we'll get in? Chad, maybe you can help us with that, or is it just going to be based on? Okay, so these are static rewards which will decay over time, you also earn dynamic rewards from the marketplace. Okay, so this is just the reward, but then you'll also get a percentage of the revenue from the marketplace, which you don't know how much that will be. Okay, very cool. See, I'm learning a lot here. Okay, so it's going to be pretty hard to come do a spreadsheet to figure out exactly how much return you're going to be getting until we start to know what kind of volume we're going to be getting. So you know what? Maybe I'll do this off air. Oh, maybe hopefully this was helpful, at least this part for you of just putting the price in here, showing, hey, here's what the rewards are. So it gives you kind of an idea of how much you might want to spend. We could, if I really wanted to sit here and do it, I'm feeling kind of a little bit lazy, but you could say like estimated um, volume and say, let's say we did a million, we'll say estimated daily volume. And we could say, maybe we're going to do, let's start at like 100K a day. Okay. Then we'd have to figure out how much each of these get. So maybe again, sub can help that. Maybe I'll do that off air and put out a spreadsheet. I think that would be probably better than me trying to figure it out. You guys, this is super funny. You guys always know more than I do going into these. Um, let's see. So sub says I'll hop on in 5 minutes is what he says. So he will be here soon. Okay, at 1 million daily volume on the marketplace, each base NFT will pay out $1.17. Okay, look at this. So we got some numbers. I do like spreadsheets. This is probably the hardest part of my job is clicking the arrow over there. So if we have $1 million a day, then the base NFT, so let's copy these again. The base NFT, it's $1.17 per day. And then am I understanding correctly that this will get 3x? So B11 times 3 and B11 times 7.8 and B11 times 18. Okay, does that look right? Does that look fair to everybody? And so then monthly again is going to be B11 times 30. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so it's looking like if you get one of these Apex Wolves and we have about $1 million in revenue a day, then you're going to be making about 40 bucks a day or 36.25. That sound about right? 36.25. Okay, so then how much do you think that's worth to pay? AVAX price. What's the current price at AVAX? Again, so this was just kind of like figuring out. You also have to take into consideration that you could sell the NFTs. So AVAX is currently at 28.29, and I'm going to do pay special values only, so it doesn't change my font. But 28.29, and if you're making 30 bucks a day, how much is something that makes $37 a day? How much is that worth to you? How much would you want to pay for that? Let's say how I might think about it is 37 bucks a day. Let's say that's like 0.5%. So maybe like 7,400 is what I would want to pay for that. Again, just how I think about it. So that'd be B17 divided by B16. So is that right? 260 AVAX. That's what I would be willing to pay for one of these. Huh. Interesting. Because I definitely could get one for that price. In fact, probably could get one for cheaper. Alpha Pack tier. How much is the cheapest Apex one? I mean, maybe I should pick one of these up. What do you guys think? Should I pick this up for 69? Oh, okay, so it is an auction. When does the auction end? Okay, 22 hours. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm probably going to buy one of these. Sweep the floor, is what Chadma says. I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll have to see. But I mean, I'm willing if it's going to make 28 bucks. I mean, we don't know what the estimated daily volume is. Like I assume if it's 100K, that would only be 17 bucks a day. So what would I be willing to pay for 17 bucks a day? That way I got this number was if I took 17 bucks a day and said that was like a 0.5% a day return, then that'd be 3,400 bucks. So 3,400 bucks, a 0.5% return would be 17 bucks a day. And I think with a real revenue source, look at this. Take a nap. That's on my to-do list right now. Um, I think I'm convinced by my numbers here, by my spreadsheet, that I will put in a bid, and I'll probably put in a bid from between 130 to 200 AVAX. But I'm gonna wait. I've never been a fan of putting in bids like on eBay. I mean, did you guys see any point in putting in bids before the auction's almost over? What do you guys think? I never understood that on eBay. It would happen too. People would just keep bidding, and yeah, Chad says, watch out for the last hour of auction. That's what I would see on eBay is people would keep bidding and make the price go higher. And I'm like, why not just wait until the auction's almost over? At least wait till there's like an hour left or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to pick up one of these alpha, um, one of these high tier ones, one of the Apex ones. How much are the Ronin ones going for? Okay, so about 40 AVAX. So, I mean, that might be worth it too. I don't know. I need to understand. Chad, are you able to explain to us, or we can wait till Sub? He says he's supposed to be hopping on 5 minutes ago. So hopefully he'll be here soon. But how does that compare to just putting in the staking here? Like if I have 2 trillion alpha, like how much can I expect in here if we have $1 million of volume? Do you have those numbers, Chad? That would be kind of helpful for me making that decision. Again, I didn't know what to do, so I just threw a trillion into staking. Okay, keep in mind this is volume based. It's the beginning of the business. This isn't a node project where your roids go down because they didn't secure a proper business revenue model. Correct. Yes. So there's just those small guaranteed rewards, right? And then the rest, which is pretty small. I mean, those are, small comparatively. But then this will be based on volume. So it could be lower. Okay, I do not currently. I'm on my phone. I'm in the backyards. Okay. Yep, no problem. So we'll wait for Sub to figure out because that would be the only question is hey, here comes Tyler. That would be the biggest question that I think Tyler will help us with right now.
Which is the
Tyler,
question?
brother.
Good. How are you, man? You can hear me, right?
Good. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you could join us here for a bit.
Of course, of course. Busy times, but appreciate you having me, and I appreciate you doing this live and showing off our awesome website. But yeah, go ahead. What was that question that we want to answer?
Yes, I think we have it all figured out. So Chad was able to help us through most things. I think we have it figured out. I decided I'm going to put in a bid on an Apex Wolf, but I'm going to wait until the auction's closer to being over.
Of course.
The biggest question that we have is how do we think about Chad was able to explain pretty well the rewards for the NFTs. But I think how does that compare to the rewards for just staking?
Yeah.
And so how do you think through that? Like let's imagine $1 million in volume. What
Mhm.
kind of what would that do for people that are staked?
So that's a good point, or that's a good thing. It's very speculative, and that's a good question. A lot of people have actually asked about that, and so this is where yes, you're going to do a little bit of speculation. I'm not going to give you any financial advice here because at the end of the day, it kind of depends on many different factors. But let's say you're going off a fixed volume. The fixed volume will tell you how much money is going into each pool, right? So if you're at $1 million, that means $125,000 will be taken and going into the pool for the NFTs, which is 1.25%. And then you'll also have 0.5% going into, which is what, 50 grand going into the single sided staking pool. That single sided staking pool will have who knows how many people. So the thing about the NFT collection is that it's a capped collection. There's only 10,000 total
Okay.
shares, if you will. And so you can kind of estimate based on that and that exclusive group what really those rewards could potentially be on average for you as holding the number of NFTs you hold. With the moment though that's fully minted out and all 10,000 NFTs are in the hands of people, well, if you can't afford an NFT or purchase one that's for sale in the market, how else do you get invested? You have to stake the alpha token. And at that point, who knows how many alpha tokens will be staked, how many people will be doing it. So at first, that could be a very profitable solution. But as we go and as we expand and as people buy up all the NFTs, the only way to get involved is by diluting that alpha pool, the single sided staking pool, meaning the more people that invest into that pool, the less your rewards are. But yeah, a lot of speculation to go on here. So it really just depends on the timeline of everything.
Yes. No. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So there's not really any way to calculate this because it's based on how many people are staked total. So it could be a few, it could be a lot.
Correct, and
From
to even clear that up too, and how that works is, let's say there are, which I I always love, and I talk about this. I wish that we had less decimal places in our token because it makes it really fun to deal with all the zeros. But let's say that that number was really just 1,000 total alpha tokens in that pool, and if you had 10 tokens that you deposited in that pool, well, you would hold 1% of that total pool, and therefore, if $1,000 gets deposited in that pool as the staking balance rewards, then you would receive 1% of that, which would be $10. So that's how that works. Is it's all proportional to how much of the pool you own. And yeah, that pool is going to constantly go up and down. And the fun thing about that is that you're locking your alpha away in that pool, and that alpha is what's going to be used to mint your NFT. So you might be speculating, oh, the staking pool is going to be better, but as those NFTs start to get minted, you're like, oh crap, well, my alpha staked. What happens when these NFTs start to get minted out? I'm going to need to use my alpha for it. So yeah, very fun. None of this has ever been done before, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, nope, that makes a lot of sense. And so, if people are trying to think through another thing about staking instead of an NFT is you'll have easier access to it, right? Like an NFT, you'll have to sell if you want to get rid of it, so it's a little bit harder to get out. Whereas if you're staked, you can just take out, correct?
That's correct. No stake, no unstake fee. There's no tax on the token either. So our token's a completely taxless utility token, meaning that you can speculate on the trades on it. You can go and buy. If you spend $100, you get $100 worth of token, and you can go stake it. You can unstake it. You'll always have the same amount of tokens. We don't tax it.
Okay. All right. So those are the things that you need to think about if you're trying to decide between an NFT and just staking. Is it's a little easier to get access to it here. You don't know how much you're going to be making, whereas with the NFTs, since there's a limited amount, you can calculate pretty close to based on what their volume is going to be. So that's what you have to think through. So and I'm gonna have to think through that too. You know what exactly I want to do with my all that I have. So thanks, Tyler. That's super helpful.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
the other question that people had that I was not able to answer was, are you guys doxed or KYC'd, or do you have plans on doxing, or where are you guys at with all that?
So with doxing, and yes, I did realize I'm looking at the comments. So I was going off a $10 million volume, I believe, with my math. So I was one decimal place there because $1 million in volume would be 12,500 in fees, not 125,000 fees. But regardless, in terms of doxing and stuff, so currently I work for myself. I've been working for myself. I'm a real estate broker full time. Got into real estate, been a hobbyist in this. So in terms of me doxing, I work for myself. I don't have to worry about it too much. But our co-founder John, he is just an absolute wizard, and he's a senior architect for a Fortune 500 company, which that company does allow you to have things on the side, but it still opens up kind of a can of worms when, especially, you're in a protocol with quite a bit of eyes on you. He doesn't want anything to kind of bite him in the butt, so we're going to give it a little bit, make sure that this protocol that we've been kind of building on the side can be our end all be all. We'd really love for this to be our main source of income and go full time at this. And the moment we can, which hopefully happens after this auction, we'll be in a better place to go ahead and dox to everyone. We have no issue with it because we're business people at the end of the day. We've been here for about 6 months. We've had plenty of times to do something stupid and unethical, like a lot of players in this space, but we never would do that. And so we have no issue with doxing. We've left so many breadcrumbs too that if anyone really wanted to find out who I was, they'd have no issue finding who I was. And I've already doxed to James too. I was on a video call with him the other day, and I was tempted to put a video on this chat here, but I decided to let that be a big announcement.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that another time. So I was quickly, people said they wanted me to do my spreadsheet stuff live. So I was kind of just calculating if I just minted these, how that compares to like buying an Apex Wolf or something like that. So it
Hmm.
looks like, yeah, it costs about $250 and you'll get about, with $1 million volume, that'd be about $2 a day. So I was just doing some quick math here. 7 C20, about 0.8% a day. Um, so that's a
Which,
pretty good deal.
I mean, if you think about it, this is what we're really building. Like, right, this is going to stabilize at some point. And the stabilization of an NFT marketplace. I mean, as we've talked about before, the big players out there in a bull market do $100 million a day. Even taking 1% of that market share means $1 million a day. And is that where we want to end stabilized? No, we'd love to be up near those, 7, 8, 9 figure market, or not market caps, but rather daily volume numbers. But it's going to be really interesting to see. You're This is the floor price that really everyone's getting in at. We're just launching, so it's so different from typical protocols. We all came from DeFi. We all came from a protocol. Hey, give us money. You'll get 1% per day. You'll get 2% per day. You'll get whatever APR, right? But with this, it's so dynamic that, based off $1 million a day, yeah, it might be at current prices 0.8%, but the prices may go down, the prices may go up, the volume levels might go up, the volume levels might go down. So the cool thing about this is that you're an owner of a completely dynamic income producing business. You're not kind of fed a promise of return. You're not saying, hey, you're going to get this APR, you're not going to get this daily return. You're rather an owner, a straight up tokenized on the blockchain owner of an income producing business. We all came from DeFi and cut. All of us here, I'm sure, got a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth from the protocols that were highly dependent on new investors coming in. They were great at incentivizing the space, getting people hyped, getting people like, oh, I put $100 in, I'm making $1 a day. But it was all about that new person being like, oh, you did? I'm going to go give $100. All about that. And with this, it's not. With this, it's about the community. It's about developing software as a service and developing something that takes fees. We're going to be a brand all about developing and releasing products that are fee producers. And those fees are at the end of the day profit. And we can hopefully generate more than enough to pay our 10,000 exclusive NFT holders. So that's really the quick pitch on it, but I love it. I love that you had me up here too, James. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, no, it's awesome just to have you here to answer the questions and stuff like that. So no, I think that's super cool. That was one of the things I told the audience I really liked about meeting with you guys was because you started in the midst of node season, quote unquote.
Uh-huh.
But and I was like, I'm not interested in any nodes. And he goes, no. We are seeing that we are going to need a revenue stream, and so we're working on that ASAP. Whereas a
Yep.
lot of the other node projects waited until they got into trouble, then they're like, oh, we need a revenue stream quick, and you guys did not do that. So I kudos to you guys for being forward thinking and
Thank you.
getting
Thank you.
results so quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a big thing, and that was the biggest push for us is how do we? I mean, we blew up way bigger than we thought we would when we launched our reflection token, and yeah, we were playing on the whole node game, saying, hey, if you want to earn your reflections in a node token, go ahead. Definitely playing the fads of the time, but the really the whole point of it was to just grow a treasury and then take that growth, take that few hundred grand that we had developed, and really put it straight into a real product. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't treat business in this space like it's a real or treat money rather like it's a real business. They treat the money as, oh, I made 100 grand. I'm going to go walk away with it instead of being like, oh, that 100 grand could potentially make everyone 10 million, right? And down the line, obviously, as the business grows and expands, there's so many industries in this Web3 space that have potential to become $1 billion business. And so if you've got the skill set, you've got the ideas, we've got the networking connections with people like yourself. I mean, we're very confident that we can make it happen. So it's sad that a lot of other protocols they kind of go do the wrong thing. But I appreciate the sentiment towards us.
Yes. Nope. That's very cool. So are you looking to be like a direct competitor someday with OpenSea? And the second part of that question is, um, I know you can't predict or project really, but like, what do you see your daily volume being, and what's your marketing plan to kind of get more of that NFT share as time goes on?
Yeah, so a lot of people have asked about marketing, that type of thing. I mean, the majority of everything that we're doing now with the Genesis auction and with this upcoming mint is really to support the people that have supported us over the past 6 months. We have about 3,000 holders of our token. We've got a lot of people that have supported us over that time, and so really all of this marketing that's been happening so far is just to get everyone riled up as part of the community to finally hit this next step. Alpha token was the first step. The alpha NFTs and converting your tokens into NFTs is really that next step, and so once we're past that, and once we really now have our group of owners, that's when we go hard at for one going multi-chain. We're not just going to be on Avalanche. We're going to try to be on Ethereum as soon as possible. Solana is already being worked on by our infrastructure team, Notify, that we're partnered with. It's going to take a bit to get that fully integrated on our front end, but very fast as we can. We want to be across as many chains. And I can't really guarantee or estimate what our daily volume numbers will be. It really depends on the overall market. Like right now, like I said, OpenSea does between 100 to 150 million a day in a bull market. In the current bear market, they're still doing about 25 million a day though. And so those are still metrics we can look at of, hey, can we hit those numbers? Of course we can. I have no doubt in my mind that we can't hit those numbers because at the end of the day, an NFT community or an NFT marketplace rather is about the community. Any collection can be listed on any marketplace. The way that it works is you just take the collection contract address, import it in, connect the metadata, and boom, Now Bored Ape is on your Ethereum based marketplace. But what now matters? Well, it's getting people that own a Bored Ape to come and list it on your marketplace, and getting someone else that wants to buy a Bored Ape to come and buy it on your marketplace. And so our main focus here is growing a community, making sure that by giving people, our community, 70% of all the profits from our brand back to you, well, we'd hope that if you have a feeling of ownership over a marketplace, why would you go somewhere else if you can trade on the marketplace that you literally own? So that's just the first step. We're obviously doing a lot of stuff. The marketplace is, again, one of the first products that we're releasing that's a fee producer. We've got a DEX, an auto compounder, anything that's software as a service that takes fees, we will be launching. And all of those fees, again, go back to our community and does what we call a flywheel approach, where as we launch new products and services that generate income, we can take that income and subsidize our previous services. So let's say our auto compounder does very well, our DEX does very well. We can now go take the profits from that and lower the barrier to entry on our marketplace, maybe trading the biggest collections out there that do millions and millions of dollars a day. Instead of them having a 2.5% trading fee, we cut that in half. And we say, hey, we'll subsidize you with the fees that we generate on our other platforms. If you want to list a Bored Ape with us, it'll cost you half the fee. And so why would anyone else want to go anywhere else, right? At that point, we have so many other services that can feed into lowering the costs, lowering the fees, lowering the barrier to entry, and increasing the profits in anyone's pockets. So at the end of the day, it's all about the community. That's what I want to get at is it's the people holding the NFTs that matter. We obviously want collections to be like, hey, go to buy our collection on Alpha Shares and have our link there, just like they have OpenSea and Looks Rare is their link in the bio. But it's all the push of the community, and so we've already got a ton of projects too wanting to list with us. I've got 3 meetings actually right after this throughout this evening about new projects that have heard about us over the past week and are on Avalanche and are like, hey, I'd love to list with you. So we'll be
Okay,
having a
very
lot of
cool.
news here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys have a ton of stuff going on.
Oh,
Um,
nonstop.
yeah, amazed that you were able to just hop in here too and talk with us. So thanks for taking the time to do that. We won't hold you for too long. And for the audience, I've been updating the spreadsheet a little bit. This is kind of, again, just as I'm thinking through something like this, I kind of calculate, okay, here's what I think I might make in a day. Is something around this. And so then it's like, well, what's my goal percentage that I want to get a day? And like, I feel like, a 0.5% is pretty good, which means that for an alpha wolf, you pay $400. So this is just how I like in general kind of think through something like this. So like an apex wolf to me might be worth like 250 AVAX. And again, we don't know what this volume is going to be. So these numbers are not right, but we might end up at 10 million in volume eventually, or even more than that.
Exactly. There's
So
no financial advice here, but also you're taking right now with that 1 million a day, that's just 1% of one market or 1% of one marketplace during one bull market. So think about the next bull market when the NFT space in general is going to be definitely more volume than it was during this previous one. And we're just one other marketplace that if we can only manage to take 1% of one market shares or marketplace's market share, we're not doing it right. And so I can promise you that we're going to take more than that. We will at some point be doing far more than just a million a day. No financial advice. These are my estimations and my predictions, right? Because I know that our team is just going to kill it.
yeah, and I will attest to that, like how quickly you guys have built this out compared to, I mean, how long has OpenSea been working on their
Since
NFT market? Right?
2017.
Yeah, for 4 5 years, almost
Yeah.
6 years, OpenSea's been working on theirs. And just from, I mean, I haven't used yours a ton yet, but I mean, it looks better. The color scheme is better, if nothing else. So yeah, just amazing that you were able to do that so quickly. So again, kudos to you and to the team for building that.
I appreciate that a ton. No, we really appreciate the sentiment, especially coming from someone like yourself that is looking at projects nonstop all day, every day. So hearing it from you, it definitely means a lot.
Awesome. We have a couple questions from the audience, and then we'll let you go. I don't want to keep you too long. But first off, is there a chance of a CEX listing? I always say sex, but it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I know,
Um,
because we say Dex, and then
yeah,
there's Dex and Sex, right?
X and sex.
Um, no, so yeah, actually, now that we are no longer a tax token, there is the potential for that. One thing though, that this is the thing, right? There are some openings from a marketing standpoint of listing on a centralized exchange. It's nice, it gets your eyes on things, but at the end of the day, what we're really pushing here is the innovation of decentralization in the space. We come from DeFi. We love that centralized exchanges allow for the common person that has just the app on their phone to go get involved. But we really love the push of a decentralized exchange. And so, since we are going to be releasing our own decentralized exchange, we most likely will just be sticking to this whole decentralized model. And so, I love centralized exchanges; they're great, but probably not for our token, just because we love the decentralized model.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and actually I didn't realize how expensive it is to get on a sex.
Oh, it's like
Um,
millions of dollars.
yeah, I was
Yeah,
talking because I'm helping out BioFi with some marketing, and I was like, "Hey, we got to get on KuCoin." And so to get on KuCoin, which is not even a big sex compared to like Coinbase or Binance or something like that, but yeah, they wanted $1 million, not
yep.
including the liquidity, but they wanted
Oh,
a
not
million
including
bucks.
liquidity. Wow, I thought that
Yeah,
was gonna
million
include the
bucks
liquidity.
plus liquidity is what they were
Jeez.
wanting, and it's like, whoa, yeesh,
Yeah,
that's a lot of
and
money,
and they want millions in liquidity for a platform like that too. So,
right?
yeah, you gotta
Yep,
come up with a lot.
yep. So you need, yeah, probably 3 million is kind of what we were guessing we might need to do that, and so it's like at some point it is worth it because it gets your eyes on a lot
Yeah.
more people, but um, it's expensive, so it's not just an easy thing.
It is. And it's
Um,
a decision I guess we could make if we blow up and we become like a billion-dollar brand. At that point, it probably makes sense, right, to allow people to get involved and invested that way. But it's very different. DeFi and a lot of what DeFi does and how it works um, still is under scrutiny, and every single centralized exchange or every different centralized exchange rather has different rules, regulations that you have to abide by, and what your token does. And some of them don't like them to be staked, and so on and so forth. So it really just depends. But it's interesting question, something we'll always be looking into, I think. But we love the decentralized fashion.
yeah. Okay. Very cool. Now, do the rewards come in as alpha tokens, or what are the rewards going to come in for your NFTs?
Yeah, so for the NFT specifically, so it's different for if you're staking the token or if you have an NFT. If you are holding an NFT, the rewards actually get paid out in alpha, which is the cool thing because alpha it's a kind of a it does many things for our protocol. One, it is like I just mentioned, it's kind of the token that is the reward token, but it's not like you go and people are trading and they're trading with alpha and a little bit of alpha is taken and given to you as a reward, but rather people trade with AVAX or Ethereum or Phantom, whatever the gas token is on that chain, and then whenever those fees are taken, they get used to purchase alpha automatically on the chart. So there's always going to be positive buy pressure on our alpha chart from every single trade that occurs on our marketplace, and that alpha that's purchased is then given to our NFT holders as their rewards. The alpha token also will be speculated on because it basically equals 20% of the company because it receives 20% of those fees as well when you stake it. And those fees come as AVAX. So if you stake alpha, you earn AVAX.
Okay, nope, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so it's looking to me like it would, since these NFTs, there's not going to be a second mint. Is that correct?
That's correct. There will not be a second mint because this is exclusive. There will be no dilution, if you will. One thing that we have thought about that's kind of a little bit of alpha for you of just thoughts in the company. Nothing that's secure, nothing that's exactly set on paper. But it would be cool. We love Ethereum. We would love to have NFTs on Ethereum, and so there might be at some point in the future. We've talked about it, kind of like a stock split where everyone would get kind of airdropped a portion like an NFT on Ethereum, and those NFTs combined equal the same amount that you had before. So there's no dilution. But if you so choose, you could sell off one of those NFTs. It's an idea we're toying with because we love Ethereum. We know we have a lot of supporters that are on Ethereum, probably more than AVAX. And so it's just an idea, but never will you be diluted. If you tokenize your ownership with an NFT with us, you will always have that ownership. We can promise that.
Okay, nope, makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like maybe it's best to get these NFTs, since they're limited and you can always stake. So that's kind of
That's
what I'm
correct.
going to be. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going to be thinking through. But again, I'm waiting until the auctions get closer to the end. I know I don't want to drive the price up. You know.
That's what everybody's doing. I swear to God, though, the last hour of this auction is gonna be insane. I have had probably 10 people, and I'm not crapping you, 10 different whales being like, "I am not bidding until the last hour." And I'm like, "What is this last hour gonna be like?" I have no idea. So we'll see.
Then we'll see how the technology holds up. With everybody
Right?
everybody getting on.
Right?
So that'll be awesome. Well, very cool. Well, hey, thanks, Tyler, for joining us. Does anybody else in the audience have any questions that I didn't address or that Tyler could help us out with?
I actually
Chad
have
was in
something.
the.
Well,
Oh
actually,
no,
I have
go
something.
ahead.
I saw Crypto Crazy. He said, "Don't want to be on ETH. Gas fees too high." I got a great thing for you. We actually, before we launch on Ethereum, we are actually going to be implementing a gasless transaction system, meaning you can offer, bid, all those things on an NFT, and it just requires a signature. You don't have to pay any gas.
That's
So
awesome.
yes,
So
we
then you
hate
just
that
pay
on.
gas on the transfer at the end.
Correct. So yeah, once that gets finalized, well, actually no. Well, it depends. Some things you might pay a little bit of gas on, but actually the way that it works is we fill up a gas tank. It's kind of funny how it sounds, but we fill up a wallet with money for gas, and when someone goes and makes a transaction, we subsidize it on your behalf. So when that signature gets signed and that transaction actually has to happen, and the gas has to get taken, we pay it. So obviously, gas always has to get paid. It's not like we can just make it free. We just make it free on your end. We pay it for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that is good to know. And actually, I've been doing some stuff on Ethereum recently, and gas prices, I think since Strong kind of fell apart, gas fees on Ethereum are
Are cheap.
actually really cheap. It's like $2, $3 to
Yeah,
go
it's
do stuff
good.
now. So I mean, it's not AVAX cheap, but it's still pretty cheap. So
We'll see with the next bull run though. So that's when it'll be
yes.
helpful.
Yep, that's where a lot of this will come to light. And yeah, we don't know how the bull market's going to respond. And honestly, we don't know the future of NFTs in general. And how when the next bull run comes around, are they going to be as big as they were last bull run? Are they going to be bigger? We just don't know some of those things. So,
It'll be
um,
fun to find
yep,
out. That's the fun part of it is speculating on it now, but then, really that's why we're positioning ourselves to be at the forefront of the NFT space, but also be at the forefront of all that DeFi stuff that we love too.
yeah, and it's super cool that we just get to like grow along with you as the NFT holders. Is basically like as you make money, we make money. And if you
Exactly.
don't make money, we don't make money. If you
And
make a
neither do
ton of
we.
money, we make a ton of money. So,
Yep.
yeah, it's kind of fun.
It's a
Feel
model that
good.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely feel good. I don't know why a lot more people haven't been doing it. It's because it takes a lot of time, effort, energy. It's a snowball approach at the end of the day. It does definitely take a lot of effort. More effort than just saying, "Hey, give us $100 and you get 1% a day." Because that does work, but only if it's
Right.
exciting times and it's hype marketing.
Yes.
Um,
So for people who don't feel like they have enough to get one of the NFTs that are on auction, when does this minting start up?
Okay, yeah. So I see all the way Inu. He put that in there too. We've got the minting that starts on Tuesday for the public mint. So if you are happen to be whitelisted or an OG member, then you get in on Monday, and there's a 24-hour period starting Monday around 6 p.m. Pacific, lasting until Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, where anyone can mint however many NFTs that you want. The public mint will actually only be 1,000 per week. So once 1,000 are minted, you have to wait until the next week, and so that will start Tuesday around 6 p.m. the moment that OG whitelist period is over. So we'll see what happens if all 1,000 of the public get minted out within the first hour. Well, everyone's going to have to wait 6 days and 23 hours until the next 1,000.
Okay. Okay. Very, very cool. Well, hey, that's all I have. I want to thank you. We've been going for an hour. Actually, this seemed super short. I just was having kind of fun. It was
I
fun
love
going
it.
through my spreadsheet and just kind of how I think through something like this.
I was watching
Um,
you put this together while I was in my meeting, and you were slapping this thing together so fast. I was like, "Holy crap, dude!" And I was watching to make sure it was all correct as well. I was like, "Don't do anything wrong."
yeah, well, and I do make mistakes a lot, but this is kind of I throw together a spreadsheet like this pretty much when I'm making any financial decision. It's just like what numbers do I know? You can do a formula to grab the alpha shares price here, and then that would make this even better. There's ways we could improve this. It's not organized super well, but yeah, this is
Still did
like
it
just
very
a rough,
fast though.
yeah, just a uh, rough draft of how I might think through things.
Yep.
Um, Last question here, Paul. When is the last hour?
Of the auction, he means probably.
Yes.
Well, so that difference, I'll actually, so I actually minted or not minted, listed every single NFT on my ledger because we wanted to make sure we didn't use a script through an unsecure MetaMask account, and so I had to go and click the buttons every single time to list each individual NFT. Took me forever. So each NFT has about a minute in between their closing dates, so per tier. And then also what I did was the 10 Apex, they went live at 1 p.m. Then I did by 3 p.m. the 47 Ronin went live, and then by 5 p.m. the 100 loan. So there's actually a 2 hour gap or so in between each tier. In case you get pushed out of the last bids on that first tier, you can hop into the second.
Okay, and you need AVAX to do that, right? Can't
Yep.
buy that with the alpha.
AVAX, and then real quick, click up on that little thing next to the bell icon for me at the top. So once you
This?
have, yep, right there. So once you have AVAX, you'll go and you'll wrap it into wrapped AVAX, and then you can bid.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Yeah, this is neat. And leave some AVAX for gas. Look, even helpful warnings for
A
you
lot of
of
places
common
don't tell you
mistakes.
that, and when I first got started, I was like, "Crap, now I gotta go to Coinbase and send myself something."
Oh yeah, that's happened so many times to me. In fact, I have a ton of Twitter DMs of people, "Hey, can you send me point 0.1 AVAX for
Oh, I
this or
bet.
that?
Oh
Take the trash
god.
out." I need to turn off these alerts for tasks. Take the trash out. Makes my life seem boring. Um,
Well, at least
anyways,
you have a task for it, I forget to take it out, so I gotta start putting tasks too.
the trash guy comes Monday morning, so Sunday afternoon, it's like, "Hey, take all the trash out."
There you
So,
go.
and we have a lot of trash. All right, well, let's go ahead. We'll close up here. If you have more questions, do hop into the Discord. They would love to answer questions. I'll throw a link to the Discord here. Let's see if I can get it here. There we go. There's a link to the Discord. But I want to thank the audience. Thank you guys for joining me here on this Sunday afternoon. Please hit the like button, whether you're watching this live or replay. Appreciate you guys. And Tyler, thanks for hopping on and helping us out a bit.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for having me, James. I always appreciate talking with you. You've been honestly helpful, supportive of us since we were alpha nodes back in, I think, March, probably just soon after we launched. And so thank you for giving us a platform to talk. Thank you for showing off our marketplace. I recommend, yeah, anyone, if you want to ask any questions, you got any comments, you want to just hang out with us, come join our Discord. We're also going to have an awesome mint party on Tuesday. And you get to watch these amazing bids. We're already up to over 200 AVAX on some of these NFTs. It's going to be crazy. But
Yeah,
thank you
these
again, James. It means a ton.
Yeah, these noobs that are bidding before the last hour. I mean, what are they doing? It's
I know. Well, they're just I don't. It's gonna be crazy. The last hour is gonna be insane. So that's gonna happen tomorrow. So set your calendars. It'll be right
yeah,
around 24 hours from now.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and Tyler, let me know if you guys want to come back on for a video or want to if you need tweets or whatever. Let me know, and happy to get eyes on things as I can.
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, James, and I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, thanks everybody.